So games coming up for Gareth Southgate's England against Switzerland and Ivory Coast. Lots of talk about the squad, James. And as ever, it's a negative country. So we've reflected mainly on who's not involved than who is.
Yeah.
Anyone unlucky to miss out?
I think Tomori's certainly one that I'm a bit baffled by when it comes to Southgate, because he talks about him a lot, says he's doing really well. I wonder if there's an element here with the size of Tomori. I wonder if he obviously reads the game really well, anticipates the game very well, has the pace that's necessary as well, and obviously I think very, very good on the ball. But there's two things in play when it comes to Tomori here. I wonder if he likes a bigger centre-back. I wonder if that's part of this when it comes to Southgate, especially if he's going to move towards 4 at the back or if he's going to stick with 3. I'm intrigued by that and where he's going with the squad. But I'm very surprised that Tomori didn't make it in. I think the second part of that is the fact that he's playing in Serie A, which I think is ridiculous, personally. I think there's no reason why Tomori shouldn't be in that squad with the pedigree that he's had and also with the season that he's had. The other one is a player close to your heart, or hopefully someday will be close to your heart as a Man United fan. No, Jadon Sancho. You surprised by that?
I'm not massively surprised because he was given a chance in the squad when he didn't deserve it. And now I think he's played well for 5 or 6 games, but I think Gareth Southgate will want to see this run continue. And then if it does, he will be involved in the squad at the end of the season. I think, again, he's playing with some very stiff competition in terms of the wide attacking places. And so that is a factor as well.
His form has improved in the last month or so, hasn't it?
But has the form of the other players dipped off enough that they would lose their place in the England squad? And Gareth Southgate,
right.
I know he does often contradict himself by saying that he picks players on form, because then he also says, but the players that I trust and have delivered for the country, I will not drop. Listen, on the 2 players, Jadon Sancho, just keep doing what you're doing. Start enjoying yourself. I pray to the Lord, as a Manchester United fan and an impartial journalist, that he gets a great manager that can get the best out of him in the coming season. And then on Fikayo Tomori, I think the main reason actually that he's been left out for England is intelligent use of the ball and quality of passing. I mean, so many England fans always raise the question, why on earth is Conor Coady in the squad? Because he's a natural midfielder who has played in defence now for a number of years, but his passing is obviously of a higher standard than most centre-backs. If you look at Stone's, very good, very comfortable on the ball. Maguire is a good passer of the ball, whose form for England actually hasn't been that bad. And then you look at people like Ben White, good on the ball as well, and they've been brought into England fold at the centre-back spot. So I think if Fikayo Tomori can improve his passing, long range, and it's not just the way you deliver the ball, it's the decisions that you make on the ball, who to pass to and when. I think that's probably what the England coaching group is looking at most significantly when it comes to Tomori, who, again, isn't bad at it and certainly could be involved in this England squad. That's probably what's just about cost him his place.
So England have already qualified, Hugh, for the World Cup. And if we look back at that squad for Euro 2020, it felt like a squad that could be together for a very long time. But the depth of England is so brilliant that you've got these new players coming through all the time. In terms of breakthroughs, are there any players that have maybe been in a couple of squads but weren't in that Euro 2020 squad that you think could make it onto the plane for Qatar?
Yeah, there are some that were involved in the squad but weren't starting as well that I think could definitely make it through. Maybe we'll come to those in a moment. That Harvey Elliott, before his big injury for Liverpool at the start of the season, started like an absolute house on fire. Quality on the ball, decision making. You know, it's the player who started out at Fulham and was a wide player. I've seen him in the flesh play on the wing, and you're thinking, mini Messi, this guy could go on and be a great winger. And suddenly Jurgen Klopp finds a use for him in the middle of the pitch. And I actually think he could be incredible for England in that role if they can find a real creative 10. In a way, I think that could be him. And he has something different with his left peg as well to add a different balance to the team. There are a few around the league as well who could break through to that England side. I know right back is a huge area of competition for England, but Tino Livramento at Southampton and Tariq Lamptey at Brighton will get England senior call-ups to come very, very soon if they continue with their form. In fact, Livramento and Lamptey, I would be surprised if there aren't a number of bids for both of those players to move to bigger clubs. And again, their game could move on. But I can't think of many others that I think can make it in time for this World Cup. Can you?
Yeah, I think it's about the squad more than that starting lineup. I think it's going to be tricky to sort of get into those positions. Possibly in the centre-back positions, that's where there might be a couple of places. Ben White, you never know, could nail down a place if Harry Maguire's form doesn't improve and he has to make a call. I think John Stones, despite not always playing, is still obviously going to be a big part of it. But I think the centre-back positions, Mark Gay, I think is a really, really exciting player. And I think could be that fourth centre-back for them. I like Carl Walker-Peters as a fullback who can play on both sides as well. So he might be that second option. But the problem is you've got so many right-backs. And then a little bit further forward, I think Conor Gallagher offers something different in midfield. And also Smith Rowe. I think Smith Rowe is a really, really clever player that as a squad player that you might want to chuck on and have someone who gets in those pockets of spaces, but can also drive with the ball as well. I think he could be another really exciting prospect for the squad, if not the starting 11.
When you mention all of those names, I mean, the ones coming through that could break through and the incredible talent that we've got there is only one conclusion to draw. Football's coming home very, very soon. I mean, that's just the way. I mean, if it's not this year, it will be 4 years after that. All right, 2026. We'll see. What do you think our chances of Qatar are, though, under Gareth Southgate?
I think we've got an amazing chance. I really do. I think what we've learned from the last two tournaments is that you do need that little bit of luck when it comes to the draw. You also have need to have the ability to go and beat the best teams in the world. And I think England have had that fortune with the draw in the last two tournaments, but they've also beaten the likes of Germany on the road to that. So it can be done. I think it's a lot harder. I think the fact that obviously the games aren't being played at Wembley is going to be different for them, but there's also sort of different pressures that you lose as well. And I've got to say, I just wonder, if, we always look at France, we always look at Spain with the youngsters that are coming through there. I feel like this one after Euro 2020 might be just a little bit too soon. It might be actually the next one, because I wonder if there will be that sort of tournament hangover as much as anything. But the quality's there. Do you agree?
I think the quality is there. I hate to say it, but I've always had a question mark over the coaching, the instinctive nature of coaching at this level, the need to make changes at the right time. And not sure 100% that England have got that right. Not just this time around, but in their previous World Cup. And in fact, their previous major tournaments with other coaches before that. We just aren't that sharp compared to the other nations. And I think that will need to be a big improvement for England to go and do something very special. But the talent is there. We just need it all to come together. And as I say, hopefully 2022, if not, definitely 4 years later. So put your bets on now.
Hi guys, James Allcott here from ESPN's Football Forecast. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and you want to check out more, make sure you subscribe to ESPN UK.